Hey everybody, tonight I'm going to talk about a couple of my past videos. Someone was today commenting a lot on the one where I talked about there being no religious reason. Of course, in this video I'm covering Christianity and everything because that's the predominant large religious class in the United States. The vast majority of people that say that they did it for religious reasons are Christians, and there's really no reason to circumcise for Christians. The New Testament clearly indicates that the circumcision is not necessary to be a follower of Christ. Well, anyway, I had someone that kept posting on that, and we were going kind of round and round, so I ended up deleting a lot of them because there was no new information. But he kept saying that, well, the Old Testament was God's law, the New Testament was just written by man. I'm like, you can't be a Christian and not kind of pay attention to the New Testament and just say, well, it's only what's in the Old Testament that matters. That's not a Christian idea at all. Also, this person kept going around and around talking about, well, talk to the women. No wonder they find it gross and disgusting. The vast majority of women would find it distasteful and displeasing and so on and so forth. And it's like, well, that's not a scientific reason, nor a religious reason. So, these things, one of which I want to talk about briefly, is the fact of what other people think about it. You know what? If someone else thinks a foreskin on the penis is gross or disgusting, who cares what they think? The foreskin is supposed to be there. That's how it is designed. If someone else thinks it's ugly or distasteful or disgusting or whatever other name they want to use for it, well, who gives a crap? Honestly, it's not their penis, and they really have no say in it. The only one that should ever have a say in it is the one to whom it belongs, and that is the man himself. So, with that being said, why do some people find it gross, weird, whatever terms you want to use for it? Well, that's because they grew up in a cutting culture. You don't see the vast majority of women in Europe or South America or Asia, where the vast majority are not circumcised. To them, that's normal. They would think a circumcised penis looks weird because it's not what they're used to. And that's why I'm trying to constantly talk about this idea, get it to be well known, and get it into that public view so that when people think of a uncircumcised penis or intact, uncut, whatever term you choose to use, that they will see that as that's how it's supposed to look. And anything that we're not familiar with might look weird or different at first. But people need to realize that that is what the penis is supposed to look like. It's supposed to have foreskin on it. It's actually, the weird look is to not have it. People that have never seen someone that is circumcised, they would find it as, what happened? They would probably think you had some horrible accident that happened to you that resulted in that, a part of it being removed. They'd be horrified because part of it is missing. So that's what they're used to. But regardless of that, it's as someone else in a different video pointed out, when I listed my reasons, the first reason I gave was the ethical reason of no one else has the right to remove it. The only person who could ever have anything to say about that is the person to whom it belongs. And that's the long and short of it. That's the only person that has any right to say whether it gets removed or not. To remove it because someone else doesn't like how it looks is a bad reason. And that is no reason to try to shame someone else into getting circumcised or things like that. This on my religious YouTube video, this person kept saying, well, if you're a follower of Christ, you have to get circumcised. He was circumcised, right? Admit it. I'm like, I've never denied that he was circumcised. But, you know, he was also crucified, and we don't need to be crucified literally on the cross. You know, the new law superseded the old law, if we're going to be talking religious terms. So really, just trying to kind of throw everything in there to get this argument. And then, of course, I was the stupid one. Didn't know what I was talking about, ignoring the research, the information. You know, it was very, very much a predictable thing. So, you know, it was an interesting little debate. Didn't really go anywhere because, you know, everything I said, you know, he wanted to argue it from the Bible. Well, the New Testament is very clear on it. But if you're going to say, well, the Old Testament is the only one that matters, well, you know, those that are Christians and say they do it for religious reasons, then they don't know their Bible, because there's no Christian reason to circumcise. You know, and even so, that doesn't trump that number one reason of only the person to whom it belongs. So my foreskin, only I have any right to say anything about it. And do you know what I say? My foreskin is going to stay right where it is, on my penis, where it belongs. Have a great day.